I always tell people that if they're buying art just because of investment, it's a wrong decision because investments. I know about art. I know about paintings. I know about good quality things. I know the difference between a good one and a bad one. I know about condition, but I don't know anything about the things that make paintings more or less expensive, which are to do with politics and economics, and that's impossible to predict in the future. Um, and someone who buys a painting just because they hope that it will be worth more next year, um, if they're wrong, then they're left with a painting that they don't like, and it's a kind of unpleasant situation.
Art is a great investment because unlike stocks and bonds, you can enjoy it. You can love it. You can wake up to it every morning and feel the importance and the beauty of it that speaks to you. Certainly, with blue chip art, you can measure that against the stock market, and you can see that it has performed very well. So, on a very grand level, art is an excellent investment for wealthy people with big portfolios. On a smaller level, for people that just want paintings for their homes, or even wealthy families and that want a beautiful painting, I think it's a great investment. But to be a good investment on that level requires the buyer to be educated and do some research.
If you have good instincts, it's a fantastically exhilarating risk-taking game. You buy something for, let's say, 5,000, and then all of a sudden, 10 years later, you find that Guggenheim is doing a show of those works. Like, yes, it's great, but I wouldn't base a decision on whether or not to purchase art on whether you think this person will be famous. First comes love, then comes the rest of it.
Usually on the cheaper end, somebody just comes and falls in love with a piece of art. I have a mother and child coming here once, and the child was running around screaming, and all of a sudden, small boy just stood in front of a completely abstract graphic, and he said, just stood there completely motionless, and then he said, "I've been there with my grandfather." And the mother could not believe it and just bought the painting. But things like that happened. What I mean is, this is falling in love with art up to 400, 500, 600. Above that, it becomes an investment. Inevitably, it becomes an investment. And even myself, you see, when I exhibited in Royal Academy in summer exhibition. As soon as I sold some of mine, what do? In the same room there is Tracey Emin hanging. So I ran quickly and buy Tracey Emin.
You mean as an investment?
Yes, because I'm not sure if I would actually like her that much as to buy it on my wall. But as an investment, yes.
And then this artist does nothing as an asset. And that, your neighbor sponsors that guy. And that shit flourishes. And, oh, come on, I should have bought that asset or something like that.
There are certain markets, for instance, the contemporary market now, I would feel very wary to advise anyone to buy anything in that market where clearly you can see that the prices being paid for artists who are still alive now, whose careers aren't even, we don't know how art history will look at these people in 20, 50, 100 years' time. If you think like the world record price for a Byzantine icon, well, I think a museum has paid something in the region of £500,000. Now, £500,000 in the contemporary market will get you nothing. And we're talking about the Byzantine icon, which is like the height of Byzantine art.
Well, there are artists that just appear that you never heard of before that sell for fortunes at the major auction houses. I don't want to go into any details, but I think that speaks for itself. and they established these huge price levels, and they're well affiliated politically or economically, and they become important artists, and that, I don't know about important, but well valued. And then there are other artists that are just great and just really sell on the merits of their art.
Somebody would come and say, well, I really like this painting, English couple actually. How much is that? Oh, he wanted, £600 for it. And I said, well, actually, they were not sure, it's too much money. And I said, well, actually, you can check this artist's name on Christie's website, because he did sell in Christie's and he sold it for much more than here. Oh, really? Okay. Anyway, they went out from the gallery. They came back in half an hour with the money in cash, because they checked it on their little iPhones, the artist's name, and they came and took the picture, and that was it. So, see, they liked the picture, they wanted a picture, but then there was an element of credibility and the fact that the artist was actually selling. From my friends, I don't know if anybody made it to investment level yet. Probably not. We'll see. They all have to die first.